Hello everyone, and thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel, Get Crafty with Sally. Let's see, I have a couple housekeeping things to take care of first. I have a correction to my last video, the Fresh as a Daisy triple flap fun fold card. On the video, I stated that this large back base piece, this one is in crushed curry, I stated that it is 4¼ by 11, but it is actually 5¼ by 11. I did correct that on the PDF form. I also corrected it on the video just by editing in some text, but it only pops up if you have the closed captioning turned on. So a huge thank you goes out to Linda for letting me know very quickly. Thank you, Linda. I really appreciate that. And I apologize if I caused any of you to waste any of your cardstock and your time. Hopefully most of you, if you made this, caught that quickly, or hopefully you do go print out the PDF for the measurements like I do when I look at most people's videos. So that should take care of that. So the next thing I want to talk about is my YouTube 1000th subscriber giveaway. I decided on this for the prize. It's a new Wonderful World. Of course, it's a retired celebration item. Wonderful World stamp set, the coordinating designer series paper, which is gorgeous. And I'm going to let go of a package of the Pearl Basic Jewels, which, as you know, I am in love with. I did buy a ton of them, and so this is hard for me to let loose of, but I just want to let you all know how much I appreciate you subscribing to my channel. So the winner is Terry Chinan. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If not, my apologies. So Terry, if you will email your physical mailing address to me at dannydog75@hotmail.com, tell me where I can send all this, and I'll get this out to you as quickly as I can. So you were the lucky winner. I appreciate you all signing up. I appreciate everybody that has subscribed. And if you don't mind, Terry, I probably will cut this paper down for shipping. Let me know if that really irritates you, and I will do something different. Okay. So on to the project for today. Today we're going to be making this. It's called a WV Fancy Fold card, and I'm using the Gone Fishing bundle. So it's kind of a neat fold, and there's lots of great little elements with this bundle that you can use. I did add some, hopefully you can see that, I added some real feathers to my little fly hook. If you're interested in doing this same kind of thing, I did get this pack of feathers at Hobby Lobby. It was $1.99, and there's a bazillion in it. This package is going to be just like glitter. Once you open it, it'll be all over your house. So prepare yourself for that. So a reminder for this, the wonderful papers that I used in this bundle, the Let's Go Fishing pack. and they are really fun to play with. A reminder that they are on sale through June still, so make sure you go and check out these papers before the sale is over. Stock up, grab what you need, and I'm sure that you all need more designer series paper, right? Don't we all? So, if you don't have the Gone Fishing bundle yet, or the Let's Go Fishing suite, you can find it in the catalog on pages 78 and 79. Here's another thing. I think last week I said I rarely order suites. I did order the suite for this. You get the stamp set, the dies, the designer series paper, and this twisted rope 3D embossing folder, all as part of the suite for $72. And remember, if you just want to buy the bundle, the stamps and the dies, and you bundle it and buy them together, you do get a 10% discount. So check that out if you don't already have that set yet. It's a great set for making masculine cards, which I know most of us struggle with. So let's see. Let me show you also, while we're talking about fishing, I thought I would just show this this is a calendar that got passed out to our family from 2010, and this was a coho fishing trip with my dad and my brothers. This is my dad. This is my older brother Leo. This is me. This is my younger brother Kevin. So this just was a really special trip. My dad, has been gone for several years now. Gosh, sorry about that. And he just really loved fishing. So when I saw this set, I knew I would have to buy it, even though he wasn't here to make anything for. So, goodness, I better move on. So whether you have fishermen, fisherwomen in your family or not, this is still a great set. So let me show you what you're going to need to make this card. Gosh, I don't know why I get so emotional over things sometimes. Let me put this blue paper down so you can see things better. And remember, I always do make a PDF with the measurements and the supplies that you'll need to make these cards. So we're starting with a 5 1/4 by 11 inch base. I chose Very Vanilla. It's one of the cards, or excuse me, it's one of the colors in the designer series pack. You're also going to need a piece of 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. That is the solid piece on the inside back here. And you're going to need a piece of 3 5/8 by 4 7/8 DSP for the inside. I'm going to call it the back, even though it's not the back of the card. You will need 4 pieces of 1 5/8 by 5 1/8 for these little, I'm calling them accordion pieces, these little folded pieces. And I've got 2 different designer series papers on mine. You'll also need the designer series paper that goes on these. They are 1 3/8 by 4 7/8. You'll also need 4 of those. You will also need another piece of Very Vanilla, 3 inches by 6 inches, scored at 3 inches. Another piece of, 2 pieces of Calypso Coral, 2 7/8 inches by 2 7/8 inches, so that's square. 2 pieces of Very Vanilla, 2 5/8 inches by 2 5/8 inches. And we're going to emboss that one. A scrap of Calypso Coral, a scrap or two of Very Vanilla for the little bobber. We're going to stamp the bobber, and then the fly hook that has the feathers on it, and then also the sentiment. So let's get started. I'm not sure what I want to start with. Let's take our base. This is 5 1/4 by 11, as I said. It is scored at 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, and 7 inches. I've already scored it. So here, I don't know if you can see the score lines, probably not. Here's what I'm going to call the inside of the card. So we're going to fold this over, and I'm going to flip it over to make sure that I get the edges lined up properly. And they're wanting to slide. So I'm going to grab my bone folder. Give that a press. So then we're going to turn it back over. So there's the inside of the card. We folded that one. We're going to fold this next scored line, and then the next one. We'll crease that, and then fold the last one and crease it. So those folds are all nice and crisp. So there is the W part of the fold. So let's also grab this 3 inch by 6 inch piece, and it's going to be scored at 3 inches, which is half, and that is this folding piece that goes on the front. So let's fold that in half. Make sure it's lined up square. Give it a good crease. And then let's put some of our little accordion panels together. Let's see if I can sit down without putting the chair on my dog. So we're gonna need our 4 solid pieces of Calypso Coral, and then our 4 Designer Series paper pieces. And I'm using the fish hooks, and then there's some pieces that look like a map. They've got the blue water on the back. So let's grab our green glue, our Tombow glue. Put some glue on the back of this piece. And while I'm gluing this, those of you that watch me do this know that I put a lot of adhesive on everything. Glue, dimensionals, tape runner, doesn't matter. I have to tell you that my younger brother Kevin shared my last Fresh as a Daisy video on Facebook. And he was making comments about, oh, there's a giveaway for YouTube subscribers if you sign up. I've already signed up, unfortunately. And then he put some hashtags on there, and one of the hashtags was never too much glue. And when I saw that, I absolutely went into hysterics. I couldn't believe he did that. I thought it was so funny. So anyway, I am not going to make you watch me glue all those together. I have already done the other 3 ahead of time. So so those are ready to go. So let's do put our inside back designer series paper piece on our Calypso coral piece. I'm still upset about talking about my dad. I don't get it. Sometimes I'll be walking through a store or something and I'll hear a song play and it reminds me of my mom. And I'll just bust out crying. Hopefully I'm not the only one that does that. But it seems like the older that I've gotten, the more emotional I get over things. I don't know what it is about that, but I apologize for being like that on my video. So let's put this on the back of our base. Well, technically it's not the back. I guess it's really the inside. Now that I'm putting glue on this piece of Calypso coral, I can see that it's actually a little bit sun faded over here, but that's okay. So this just gets a tiny little border around it. And then let's put our little fish hook fly pieces on. And if you hear that noise, yes, there are two dogs asleep at my feet and they are both snoring. I've got the back door open. It's really nice outside. I thought maybe they'd go out there. And for some reason, I don't have any birds out there today. The feeders are full, but there are no birds. And I'm alternating the designer series paper on here. You could, you know, cut all four the same. You could put these two fly pieces next to each other, do whatever you want. Aren't you glad you didn't have to watch me glue all of these together? I say you're welcome. Although when I'm watching videos, I really don't mind watching people do stuff like that. I think it's actually kind of soothing and interesting. Which sounds kind of strange now that I've said it out loud. Okay, so we're getting there. Let's do our stamping next. Let me put my lid on my glue for a minute. Let's grab our little piece of berry vanilla, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment in Pebbled Path because it's one of the colors in the designer series paper. And I'm going to stamp Happy Father's Day. let's do the little bobber. And I should have done some ahead of time just in case, but I don't think I did. So I'm going to, these are, some of these are two-step stamps. Some of these little lures, this fish, the bobber, this lure, this fly hook. So I'm going to take my Misty Moonlight and the outside, I'm going to call it the outside, it's the bigger piece of the bobber. And stamp that. And then I'm going to take the little inside piece right here, which you could also just color it if you want to. I'm going to use Calypso Coral and take this smaller stamp, and hopefully I can stamp it without sticking my head in the camera. I don't know, I'm gonna have to stand up anyway. I know that. So there is a little line. I am gonna have to stick my head in here or get some glasses. So that's what that looks like. And then I'm also going to take my Wink of Stella and I'm going to color pretty much anywhere on this bobber on the inside that I have stamped. And what I didn't do was bring my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine over here, so let me grab it real quick. Here we go. So let me grab my die. I didn't show you the dies in the set either. There's some really cool dies in this set. This one cuts the water. There's also a tackle box. And there's a couple, I don't know if you can see them or not. These two kind of angly ones at the top. They actually cut a slit in the paper. Let me show you. So here's a piece of the water paper, and I've used that die that cuts the water part. So here's the little die that cuts the slit. I don't know if you can see that or not, but let me stick this fish in here and you'll know what I'm talking about. Isn't that cool? So I think one of these is for the fish and one is for the bobber. I haven't tried both of them yet, but I thought that was pretty cool. So let's, I don't think I have any tape over here either, so hopefully I can get this cut without it sliding around. I'm like holding my breath already. Okay, so there's our little bobber. And also, while I have this out, let's cut our sentiment out. And I've used the two of the dies for the stylish shapes. So it's the second largest and third largest squares. The second largest square is the piece that goes behind. So let's cut that out. Guess I could have done them at the same time. I got my plates pretty close to the right edge, so that made it a little harder to get that through there. And then let's cut out our sentiment while we're at it. And Father's Day is coming up this Sunday already, so I should have done this video a little sooner than now. Okay, so those will go on the back inside of our card. And then I also, I guess I don't need it for this. I can just tell you. On these two little pieces of Very Vanilla 2 5/8 square pieces, I have embossed them. I don't know if you can see that or not. I have embossed them with a die from, now I don't know what I did with the set. Oh, it's right here. The Stitched with Whimsy set. So it's the largest square in the set. So before, I've got a sleeping dog in the way again. Let's stamp our little I'm looking for a piece of Very Vanilla. Let's stamp our little fly hook. And I'm going to actually take some of my Stampin' Write markers to do this. I don't have the new colors yet, excuse me, but I think what I'm using works pretty well. So I'm going to take my basic gray and I'm going to color just the little head of the hook and go completely down the hook. And then I'm going to take my Poppy Parade. You can use Calypso Coral if you want, but this shows up a lot better. And I'm going to color these little, I don't know what they are, little feet looking things, shrimp feet looking things. And then I'm using my Pacific Point, and I'm coloring the wings. And then I'm going to huff on this with my warm breath to activate the ink. Stamp it so we can get a good image. And then that is how I did that. I'm having a terrible time with this dog underneath me. Sorry. And then I also took my Wink of Stella and went over this while it was wet all over everything I stamped. And it kind of does blend the inks together. So then I cut that out, which I'm not going to do now because I have made some up ahead of time. So let me grab one of those. And then this is probably the hardest part of the whole card for me. Well, maybe second to actually picking out the feathers. It's kind of fiddly to glue these feathers on here. So I'm gonna put a little bit of glue kind of in the middle of the blue wings. The glue's not coming out. And then I'm going to just put this blue feather on there. Then I'm going to put a little bit more glue up farther towards the front. And I'm going to stick this split pink looking flower on here, feather. Okay, so we'll let that dry a second. So we've got our bobber and our fly. So I've also taken, I guess I didn't get the die out, this die, which is a spoon lure, and I've cut it out of silver foil. I've also cut some of the little fish hooks out of silver foil. So we're going to use one of each of those. There's the fish hooks. It cuts two at a time, so that's kind of handy. And then I've also taken this little lure die, and I've cut some of these out, and I colored them with Stampin' blends, and it's actually surprising to me that the ink stays on there. So I'm going to use, I'll show you how I did one. I'm going to use dark Azure Afternoon and dark Sweet Sorbet, and all I did was take the little lure cutout and take my Sweet Sorbet, and I'm just going to make a line. It almost looks glittery when you put it on here. Just going to put a line almost down the center. And then I'm going to take my Azure Afternoon and go along the top of this lure. And if you actually run the blue into the red, you'll get a little purple mixture in the center. And then for the black eyeball and the spots, I just used a Sharpie. It says fine point, but I think it's actually kind of fat. So I'm going to make a pretty good spot for the eye. And then I'm just going to do some little dots down here on the, we'll call it the belly of the lure. So that's what that looks like, and I thought those were pretty cute. You could put a hook on that too if you wanted. So next, let's take these two pieces, the two squares that we've embossed, and I'm going to actually get my Misty Moonlight out again and a blender brush, and I'm going to try to lightly put some color in the background. this is kind of a dark color, so you want to take most of the ink off your brush and then just lightly circle it around here a little bit. You don't need a whole lot. Let's do the other. We'll see if we've got any ink left on here. That looks pretty good. So let's put our ink away. And now let's get our, this is the 3x6 piece that we've folded in half. We're going to take our 2 7/8 square solid pieces, and we're going to glue these very vanilla pieces down to the Calypso coral. So let's get some glue on the back there and put some little dots around the edge, hopefully. Doesn't look like it's coming out. Try to line that up so we've got a nice even margin around the edge. And let's do this next one. So there's those. We can glue them down to the folding piece. Looks like I got glue on there. Let's see if I can get it off in a minute. There's that one. There's that one. So let's glue our Happy Father's Day together while we've got the glue out. Okay, now I've got glue all over my fingers. To attach this folding piece, let me stand up and make sure I get this in the camera. I'm going to fold this up and I'm going to place this around these pieces and I'm going to line it up where I want it. So you kind of want to get it even at the top and the bottom, and then over here on the sides. So when you get that lined up where you think it's pretty even, and I'm still pressing down on this, you can let that go and then just put a little bit of glue over here on this right edge. I probably put maybe 1/2 inch, 3/8. Fold that back up, and you've actually got quite a bit of room to glue on. Line it up straight. We're going to have to hold it for a minute and let our glue set. And then we're just going to flip this over, open this up, put some glue on the left side. Close that back up, and I like to flip it back over because this is going to be the position that it should be in. So make sure that that's feels flat and straight. I'm going to try to see if I can get this glue off of here, if it is glue. Yay, it came off. Okay, so now let's put our sentiment on, and you can see that it's actually going to fit behind here. So it's not really that big of a deal to put on. So we'll put some glue on the back of our sentiment. And then you can actually just pretty much center it on this back piece. And it will be hidden under that folding panel. So I haven't pressed it down yet. I'm going to check and make sure that it's behind this piece. So now I'll press it down. Okay, so now we can put our little pieces on here. Well, that's not even the gluey spot that I was talking about. It's over here. So let's try to get rid of that one. Smunched up my corner in the process. Okay, it's not sticky anymore. So first I'm going to take, you'll want to kind of decide where you want to place things on here. And I just kind of liked that look-ish. So I'm gonna put some glue on this little spoon lure. That's probably too much glue. Never too much glue. But yes, there is a point, right? There is a point where it is too much glue. Okay, so let's put that little guy down. And then we'll put some glue on the back of this one. I should probably sit down and do this. Now I've got glue on my fingers again. Okay, and let's set this one about there. Okay. So let's open this. And let's see, the other cards I've made, I put that there. And then this over here. Let's see what it looks like reversed. I think I'll try that. Do it a little bit different this time. So we'll put glue on our bobbin. And then this little lure is kind of fiddly too, as far as putting that little tiny hook on there. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you can also, if you want to put a little color on here, You don't have to color the whole thing. Just maybe take some, I don't know, light daffodil delight or something like that. I don't think I have a Calypso coral out here. Yeah, I do. Let's do that. Take my light Calypso coral. Maybe my dark Calypso coral. That is not showing up. There, that one does. Just put it in a few little places. So, we're gonna want this to go. I have got glue everywhere. Gonna want this to go that kind of angle. So, let's see. I'm going to put some glue just on the bottom here where I'm going to place the hook. And see if I can kind of pick it up with the angle that I want. All right. Now I'll put some glue on the rest of this, and then also, if I can get it on the hook. That's what I was afraid of, that the hook would pop up. Now I'm really going to have glue on my fingers. So let's try to get just a little bit of glue on the hook. Alright, the hook is going right on the card. This is not how I did it on my other ones. Okay, let's put our lure on the hook. There we go. Try to rub some of this glue off my fingers. Okay. So there is our card. What do you think about this one? I think it's really fun with the feathers on it. So this one, let's see, this is the original one I showed you, and it is Misty Moonlight and Berry Vanilla. And then I also have this one that I did with the Calypso Coral, but I did put Misty Moonlight on the base piece. So this one that we just did, I changed it to Calypso Coral and Berry Vanilla. There's no Misty Moonlight base, so there's that one. And then I also have one that I made with Mossy Meadow and Wild Wheat. And I think that's kind of a fun one too. This lure I think I put a row of pumpkin pie and then Calypso Coral over the top of it, and then Daffodil Delight, and then Calypso Coral dots. You probably can't see them. I think that's reflecting. But those were kind of fun too, and I really like the Mossy Meadow. So, and it makes it look really masculine. So anyway, there are the cards. I hope that you will give this a try. Again, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button, give me the thumbs up, share my video with your friends and family, and of course subscribe to my channel. That helps me grow it. And again, let me mention the winner of the 1,000th subscriber to YouTube was Terry. So Terry, please get a hold of me and I'll get your prize out. So thanks for joining me again today, and I hope that you will give this a try. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will catch you next time.